Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Hello, everyone. I'm just setting up, so 1 second. I'm still trying to understand why my microphone sometimes is giving CPU spikes. I think it's the new I don't know what is the name of that. DPS. I think it has a name. DSP, the digital processor, digital sound processor, DSP or something. So I think it's that it is still is consuming CPU, which is a bit weird, but I wanted to test it a bit more, but I didn't have a lot of time. But I wanted to test it again in terms of CPU usage. I mean, for sure, when you plug it in and when you remove it and when you unplug, right, there is a big CPU spike. But I mean, that would be fine, right, if it's only when you plug it in. But if it's also during the usage, that's definitely a problem. That's definitely a big problem, and I don't know why. One second, I'm nearly there, nearly there. Okay, think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Pam 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 pam. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, welcome. We have a picture of the day. This texture, I changed it. Yup. We are a stream 98. We will be at 1,500 in 2 days from now. That would be insane. It's a big milestone. It's a big milestone. So I've been tweaking a bit the visual equip, and I would say at the moment it's working well. There are a few things that we have to do to avoid this thing messing up too much, but I think that consider our players are usually kind of veteran players anyway, so I think if I release something that is not, 100% new player proof is okay. So I think we will be able to use that very easy. Okay. Hello, Hulan. So I did some tests, and I have to say that this thing is working well. We need to understand. So we have to adapt the locations. Wait, why is it saying not initialized? Because I didn't recompile. No, let me recompile. Let me recompile a second. Because I did some changes to this, so that, and you know what? I think we can delete that, by the way, because the transmode was really it's really a bad idea. It was really a bad idea. Yeah, so I had quite some trouble with the rotations. And the problem of the rotations is that Unreal Engine is using, Euler angles or quaternion angles not very consistently, right? So sometimes you see the Euler angle, sometimes you see the quaternion transformations, and so originally I used in this structure an F transform, right? An F transform instead of this, and the transform actually for the rotation is using quaternions, and so this is why in my file I had something really not working not working properly, right? Because the rotations were all wrong, right? And so I had to change it and to use just an F rotator, and now it works fine. I think the complexity, unfortunately, is that we need to modify the positions, right, for each race. No, I mean not much, but we have to, because otherwise you will have like sword that are touching or even going through the body, right? And we don't want that. At least the default position should have the items, properly next to your body and not in your body. So there is something that that we have to do. So we have to adjust all the. But yeah, pretty much in this thing, right? We did pretty much all of this. What we still have to do is to adjust the locations by race. That is still needed. We may decide to restrict certain items, for example by sides, right? And we have to. So this probably is before that. We have to remove the visual equip as soon as the item is moved, right? As soon as the item is moved. Unfortunately, this is not super easy, because this means to do it on the normal equip, to do it on the consume, to do it on the bulk swap, right? To do it on the container swap, to do it. So there are a lot of places, right? So every time you move an item, pretty much, right? We have to check if that item, you drop it, right? Also on drop, if you drop it on the ground, right? So every time you move that item somewhere else, we have to remove the visual effect. So let me say maybe just inventory move, yeah? Yeah, keep, consume, inventory move, drop. These are the main ones. So for all these ones, we need to do that. Let me so here is our character, and oh wow, that's kind of dark, my friend. It's dark because we are in a part of the, okay, we can go here. Okay, so I can, at the moment, I can select any item I want, right? I can select any item, like this sickle. I can click here and I can say, I want it in my right hip, right? And it is putting the sickle here on the right side, as you can see. It seems to be working fairly well. Maybe on this particular character, I would put it a bit higher, right? But I think it's reasonable, right? And then if you want to take this monster weapon, let me see what happens. And you want to put it on your right shoulder. Boom, there it is. Right? So it seems to be working fairly well, actually. Here, for example, the position of the sword seems to be pretty good, right? I like that. So it seems to be fairly good. Yeah, but the problem is this, that at the moment, if you move, if you move this sword to another location, right? For example, like this is not removed, while this should be removed. Or if you equip it, you see, now you have two, right? And this obviously is something that we need to fix, right? Plus, you know, if you move it into any other location and you ask to equip again, for example, on the left shoulder, right? He's doing it. And if you equip it again, so now you have 3 weapons, right? Which is a bit silly, but that's just how it works, right? I understand exactly. Let me see what happens when you sit down. Yeah, I mean, obviously I mean, this is gonna happen, right? So I have no way to solve that. So if you are why his feet are like this? I don't know. It's very weird. But yeah, I have no solution for that, right? So if you I mean, this is the same if you are against the wall, right? If you are against the wall, yeah, your weapon is already going through the wall, right? So that is already valid with the normal items, and is valid also for these items here, right? So that I have no way to control that. So, but yeah, so I like this picture. I like this picture. I posted it just for fun. Yeah, now there is a button that I added, which is basically, it's not a problem but a fashion. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it is fashion. So in reality, we could also leave it that you can have like 3 swords, but I think it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think it would be a bit confusing. So I would like to do that if you move the weapon from one slot to the other slot, right? The thing is cleared out, right? Because otherwise, and anyway, I added this button. Which is called clear all, which if you mess up, you know, you can just click this, and it's basically removing everything, right? It's removing every attachment, every visual attachment. And yes, it's only visual, right? So that's the good thing. It's only visual. It's only fashion. It doesn't do anything to the game. So that's nice. So you wanted to see a bed, Hula? Let me see if I can find a bed. I don't know. I have a crate. A medium bed? You want to see this bed? Okay. I think it would be easier to put it on the back. Because if you put it in any other location, I think it would look a bit weird. Yeah, the problem is the rotation, right? So it's not really rotating it properly, because it doesn't know that it's rotated this way. But yeah, it works. You can put a bed on your back if you want, like this, or you can put it in the right shoulder or in the left shoulder. Yeah, but you see that the rotation, unfortunately, is not correct, because this bed doesn't have the proper rotation. So that's the issue. But there may be other things, you know, they work better. So I don't know if we have a barrel of any kind. I don't know if we have a chest, we have a table, we have a vase. Alright, let me try with this. Let me try with this because this may actually make sense, no? Yeah, exactly. So if you want to have a vase, you know, at the back, you can. And this can make sense, right? This can make sense. Now, I don't think it makes a lot of sense if you put it on the side, right? Or if you put it, but we can try. Yeah. That is if you put it on the left, on the right shoulder, right? It is right shoulder. Now, it's getting oriented this way because he's expecting it to be a weapon, right? Yeah, or if you put it on the right hip. Now that is a particularly big, this is a particularly big vase, so maybe, you know, like this doesn't really make sense. But there is also the smaller version, right, of the same vase, so that maybe we could use. I wanted to see if we had a chair. We don't have a spawnable barrel. Oh, that's very strange. We don't have a spawnable barrel, actually. We have this, though. Oh no, it doesn't have the... Hello, Xenotang. It looks perfect. I don't know. Basically, at the moment, we cannot touch anything to anything, right? So... Wait a second, let me try to fix my face. Yeah. We cannot touch anything to anything. A purple pillow. The problem is the rotation, because for example, also the pillow, I think it will be wrong. I think it will be horizontal probably, let's see. Yeah, exactly. So that is the issue, right? Because it doesn't stay on your back, because this pillow has been designed to stay on the floor, and so is it's done that way, right? I mean, it's not that you want to attach a pillow, but there are certain items that just don't work, right? Don't work properly. Let me see the gloves on the left hip. Yeah, for example, these ones, right, are also designed to be standing on the floor, so they are horizontal. You see that they are not designed to be, you know, here. Now, with a bit of rotation, they may actually work, right? So if we allow in the future custom rotations, they may actually work okay, but yeah, and the chair, I mean, for the big items, right? For the big items, obviously there is a problem of offset, right? Because in theory you could bring this chair on your shoulder, but the pivot, instead of being here like it is now, it should be like way to the back, right? Way to the back. So the bigger the item, the more wrong it will look, right? So unfortunately, so you can do it with small items. Like if you take a mushroom, right? If you want to put a mushroom on your right shoulder, I think you will be able to do it. Yeah, exactly, like that, right? Maybe it should be oriented the opposite, but if you want to put a mushroom on your shoulder, you can. And then if you want to put another one on the other shoulder, right, you can as well. So So if you want to go around with mushrooms in your back, you can do it. Easy. Easy. And then if you are in panic mode, you click on this, and it is removing everything, right? I just have to do it, close the window. But I don't know what else we can try, but I think that, so in general, shields will work well. So if you want to have a shield on your back, right, I think it will work nicely. I mean, they may be kind of big, right? Like this guy. There are certain shields like this guy that are very big, right? So, but I think it will work fine. This one will work fine. Yeah, exactly. So this one is working okay. So if you want to have a shield on your back, you can. You are not allowed to put it on the side, right? So if you are trying to move this shield to the right shoulder, for example, it's telling you the shields can only be placed on the back slot, right? So it's not allowing you to do that. Actually, it removed it. Okay, interesting. In theory, should have left it on the back, but yeah, the shields are working fine. Shields are working fine. And weapons, in general, weapons are working fine. Even short weapons like this one, right? If you want to put it there, you know, I think it looks fine. Now, if you put it on, the point is that if you put it on the left or right shoulder, it will be 180 degree rotated like now. If you put it on the back, it will be standing up, right? Like this, you see? If you put it on the back, it will be standing up. So you have the choice, right? You have the choice if you want to see it this way or you want to see it the other way. Now here we have a bit of a distance. Maybe we can also this one we can fix a bit, but it seems to be fine. You cannot put any container, right? So if it's a chest, you cannot do it. But can you put a flower? Yes, for sure you can put a flower. If you want to put a flower like this, you can. I think. If you want to put a bamboo on your shoulder, it will be rotated down though. Yeah, it will be rotated down. That's the problem. Yeah, but if you want to do this, you can. And if you want to do this, you can. Right? So you can really customize the character now, you know, just with items, right? Just by putting items around, which is pretty nice, by the way. I like that. I really like it. So for example, if I want to put a flower on my back, right? I can do it. It's not looking super, I mean, it's rotated, it's a bit rotated, unfortunately, but if I want to put it on the left or right shoulder, it would look upside down. Yeah, it would look upside down like that. But it is how the flower is created originally, right? So right, so you can have it there. You can go around like that if you want. I think it's good anyway. I think it's good. I think I like it. I think I like it. What else? What else can you put, guys? What else? Jewelry. Well, jewelry usually are boxes. Well, you can put a bracelet if you want. I mean, a ring will not be visible. It's too small. It's too small. Yeah, let's try with some staves, like wands and stuff. So if I take, yeah, maybe the big ones, because the problem is always the big ones, right? So if we take a staff like this, well, is there a bigger one? I want the biggest possible one. These are all fairly, yeah, this one is already slightly bigger. This one is pretty big. This one, I think it may look wrong. Let's see. So if I want to put this stuff at the back may look okay. Yeah, it's very big, it's very big, but you can put it at the back. I think it's fine. It's big, but it's doable. Now, if I put it on the left, it will be rotated, right? As we know. Yeah, so it would be like this. Wow, this staff is really huge. So if I put like 3 of them, okay, let's try to cheat and do this, and then say, oh, I want it also on the back. Oh, I want it all. Now I'm cheating. Would not be possible to do this anymore. But well, you could have 3 of these staffs, right? You could have 3. So I'm going to put it in every location, just to see what happens. Ah, it's saying invalid item. What? Ah, because it's seen it is already in that location. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, this will become really too much. Really too much. Yeah. So this is 5 of the biggest staff in every location, right? In every location. So you basically become a 3 yourself. Right? You become a 3 yourself. And plus, you could also have it equipped in theory. Right? So you could have a 6th one. A 6th one in your hand. I mean, I hope really people don't go around like this. Maybe I can make this stuff a bit smaller. Actually, I think this stuff is too big to begin with. So I think it should be probably made smaller. But yeah, if you go in panic mode, just say clear all and it's done. Apart from the keep weapon. So yeah, that one is really a very big staff. But I think that the other staffs, let me see. There was one, there was the, yeah, like this one. Let's try this one a second. This one is already fairly big, but I think it may look better. Yeah, it's definitely smaller. Yeah, it is more reasonable, right? So I think with this one, you could probably even put it on the side very easily without it looking weird, right? Yeah. Yeah, this will actually look very good. Actually, this is looking very nice. So this we can have it on NPC as well, or it is when you add. Yeah, I think like this it looks good. The only thing I don't know if I want you to be able to swap the direction. I mean, it's doable. It's not very easy to do. I mean, it's basically we need another field. We need another field in the database where we say invert rotation, right? Yeah, but pretty much I think that's all you are going to put there, right? Because okay, you can also put smaller stuff, like you can put a let me try the musical instrument, because musical instrument I think we have a rotation problem. Musical instrument, I think we have a rotation. Well, the drum, The drum will, the problem of the drum is that it's big and so it will go through your body. Even if I put it on the back, right? Yeah, it goes through, but not too much. I don't understand why it's not centered though. Why it's not centered? Probably because the pivot of this is not centered. I think, but I think it's okay. I mean, you have it there. You can put something else on the right side, right? You can put something else on the right. I don't know what, but another musical instrument, like a flute. Can you put a flute or a lute? And the problem is always the rotation, that I have no control on the rotation. It kind of works, actually. It kind of works. It kind of works. It's not too bad. So we can have a traveling artist, you know? A traveling artist. So it's kind of working, actually. I'm pretty happy about that. So we can change the orientation of some of these items, right? Uh-oh. Well, this one will look, again, horizontal on your back, right? So there's no point in putting that. I mean, if you really want, I can do it just for fun. But obviously this will look completely broken. I mean, this may work. Oh no, these are containers. So everything that is a container is not something that you can use on the back. There is, I added this rule. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I said if it's a container, right, you cannot put it. So all this stuff you cannot. Because I don't know why. I mean, we could, yeah. Scraper. Oh, we have a kind of a barrel. It's a very old barrel, but anyway. It is probably also a container. Yeah, it is also a container. So all the containers, no way. I can remove that limitation and allow also containers, but I don't know. You can have a bucket. The bucket is probably also a container. Or a shovel. No, the bucket is not a container, so in theory you could put it there. Yeah, so you could be, you know, the man collecting coins. So you go around like this and you collect coin from people. You say, hey, do you have $1? Well, do you have 1 coin? Put it there. Easy. Uh-oh. Yeah, this shovel has a wrong pivot point. This shovel has a wrong pivot point because you see that it's not... Probably if you keep it also may be wrong. No, if you keep... Well, it's rotated... Yeah, it's rotated 90 degrees, so... This shovel is not having the proper rotation from the beginning. So there will be a number of items that are bugging like that, right? There will be certain items that look okay and other items that look completely broken. But it's fine. You will remove them, right? I guess. If you find an item that is not working, you will just remove it. So you can properly roleplay. Bed, you have the clip with the bed, eh? Hello, Resildren. As a container, could it be storage device for inventory items? Consider that what you see here is purely cosmetic, right? So none of these items are actually there. They are still in your inventory. So they look like they are there, but they're not there. So it's a purely cosmetic function. It's a 100% cosmetic. So it's just for, I mean, you need to have the item, right? So you cannot select an item that you don't have, right? And when you drop it, I will remove it. But it's a purely cosmetic function. But if you want to go around like this, right, which I think is cool, you can. Maybe the other side, yeah. If you want to go around like this, right, you can. And the guards will not complain about the weapon, because the weapon is actually... could it be a storage device inventory? Yeah. And by the way, this counts only for your current inventory, right? It doesn't count for the stored item or the kept item or anything else. Now, can you put a helmet? Yeah, helmet I think you can put actually. Let me just remove, let me just remove all. And let me just destroy a few of these items because I think we have too many. So let me destroy. Let me destroy this stuff. Yeah, if you want to put an helmet of any kind, I think it will look weird. So we can put that, or we can put helms. Like this helm or the big one. What is the big one? This one. Yeah, I think this one will look kind of weird if you put them. We can try, but I think they will look very strange. Maybe on the back would be reasonable, but yeah, on the back, this one is reasonable, but if you put the other one, the horn will go through your body. Right? If you put this one. Yeah, the horn will go through your body, so there is not really a good way for me to fix this. Unless I do a rotation by item, right? But that's too crazy. I mean, it's too much work. I don't want to do it. So there will be certain items that... Yeah, maybe on the side it still makes sense, right? On the side it's still making sense. Yeah, this particular horned one is annoying. But a normal helm I think will be okay, right? So it looks like if it's hanging from your belt. So I think helms, the small helms, I think they will work okay. Potions, I have no idea how they will look. Let's try. Potions, where are potions? They are under what? The backpack. We have a backpack, but this backpack is designed to be on the ground, so unfortunately I think the rotation will be wrong. And it's a container. No, it's not a container. I think this backpack will look, unfortunately, rotated wrong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the backpack is looking wrongly rotated. Because, yes. I mean, I can do an exception just for the backpack. Can we cheat and put on the right shoulder and see how it looks? But no. Nah, it's not. Nah, the backpack is not working. because he has that particular rotation. And a potion, where are the potions? Under herbal preparations? Yeah, like something like this, right? They all have the same thingy. Fuck. I like this. This one is a very small item, so this one will work fine. Yeah, it will be upside down because again it looks like if it's a weapon. Imagine a weapon, right? So the weapon is put upside down to put it away, right? And so it is doing the same here. I may add an inverse, an inverse button that is basically rotating 180. So there could be here a button that is like saying reverse. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Overall, I think it looks good. I think I like it. So okay, let's do the let's do the thing that when you equip it, right? When you equip it, it removes the visual, or when you drop it, it removes the visual, or in any case, or when you consume it, removes the visual. So to do that. What do I have to do that? Actually, the best way, right? The best way would be to catch the slot manager move, because if we catch the slot manager move and we use the source, I think that may work very well. Because in Slot Manager, there are all the moves, right? Move from inventory, move from container, move from whatever, right? And let me try something before though. I want to do this. I want to have these two items, and then these two items I equip them. Okay, one I even consumed it, right? One I consumed it, and the other I have equipped it. So in reality now these items do not exist anymore in the same location. So now if I reload into the game, what happens? Because I want to simulate the case where the item is actually misplaced, right? So if the item is misplaced, I want to see what happens. At the moment, in the database, it will remain, right? So it will not go away. So our character visual equip will still be here. Right, will still be here. So these two items are still here. By the way, those items are not visible in the character selection. Is that a problem or not? I mean, it would be nice if they are also in the character selection. At the moment, they are not in the character selection, because the character selection is not really your character. It's just a dummy. It's a dummy character that is not really you. Okay, they disappeared, which is correct. They disappeared, right? They disappear, but in theory in the database are still there, right? Which is the weird thing. So if I say that I want to put something on the right hip, right? It will tell me that it's busy. If I say right hip, tell me this slot is already used, right? But it's not breaking, right? It's not breaking. It's not breaking. Yeah. So that is why the clear all is a good command, is a good button, because clear all is really deleting everything, right? So now here it should. Oh, it does not. Why? The delete all didn't delete all. I mean, it's true that those are ghost items now, right? So those items are not correct, but still I want the clear all to actually, so that we can. It's very strange the clear all is not working. It is very strange. Exactly, because the delete is done. The delete. Ah, there is this return. This should not be return. This should be break. Break. Yeah, it should exit from the for. You should not return from the function. Okay, so this is why it's not working at the moment. Okay, so with this, I think it will properly detach. Yeah, this is a mistake. This is a big mistake. That is a big mistake. Let me check why. Let me see if I had the mistake also in the other. No, because here it was not a for loop, right? Yeah. So no, in this case was correct. Okay, so now, yeah, so now if I recompile, in theory, that is gonna work, right? That is gonna work. Let's test that. Then the other thing I want to do, I want in slot manager, whenever you are moving an item, we have to check if that item is actually part of. I think it should be always a move from inventory, because move from inventory. Yes, I think it must be a move for inventory actually. Move from inventory. Yes. So I think what we can do, I think if we do it here, we solve 99% of our problems, because this is the function where all the inventory movement happens, right? So if I obviously have to do it after all the checks have been done. I have to do it after all the checks have been done. Yeah, but the problem is, wait a second, because here we have the target container, right? The target container. So this means you are moving from your inventory to one of these places, right? Which is basically, yeah, another container, the exchange with another person, the mail, the world, the whatever. Now, the problem is that all these functions are anyway doing other checks, right? For example, if you are trying to equip a sword and you don't have enough strength or enough agility for that sword, this will tell you that you cannot equip it. So there are a number of other checks that happen here. before reaching the actual move. You know, like this. So there are a million cases actually. There are a million cases. Give me a second, guys. I go to the bathroom 1 minute and I'm coming back, okay? Yeah, I think it's fine. I think that as soon as you try to move it, even if here we have a number of other million checks, you know, I think as soon as you try to move it, so basically when you arrive here, if this item is visually equipped, example, right shoulder, right, remove it. So to do this, what do we have to do? Good question. Well, we have to get our client, and then here we have some visual. We have request visual key, receive item visual key, request visual. I think we had also is visually equipped, no? No? Because it's protected? Probably because it's protected. I think we had this, no? No. We have is we have is visual slot empty, right? Yeah. The problem I think is that this stuff is protected. Yeah, it's protected. So we cannot call it from outside. So the function will be what? The function will be. I think we can just put a function here together with the other visuals, which is something like remove if equipped or something like that. I don't know. It's not a request, right? It's not a request. So this would be used by slot manager to remove the visual equip in case the item is moved in the inventory, right? In the inventory. So we will have remove visual equip after inventory change. It's a bit long, but I think it's clear enough. Remove visual equip after inventory change, right? By the way, guys, if you have any ideas, suggestions, questions, please, I mean, feel free to ask. I think this should take just the container, right? The container, and so it's exactly the same as this, right? So it takes the container slot ID, and obviously there is the source, right? Yeah, it's the source. So going back to our slot manager, I think here we will do this, and we will pass in what? We will pass in the message, and here we have the from container, and then the message from slot, right? And that's it. And this will do the work, right, for us. Well, we have to obviously put some code in it, but okay. So this what we'll do. He has to find if he's actually part of the equipment or not, right? So it is basically the is, and then is a remove. I think so. Is visual slot empty? No, I don't want to see if he's empty. I want to get the visual slot. Get current visual equip slot. Yes. Exactly. So this will return a slot, which is an EPS visual slot. And if this current slot is different than EPS visual slot none, right? Then we remove it. How do we call the removal? Well, we have a remove visual. We have a request. We have a what? We have a remove visual something. No, not this one, obviously, because this one is us. But we have a visual remove visual equip slot. removal, not remove. Okay, well, I think I mistyped that function, but this function, no, but this one is not correct, by the way. Should be called remove, not removal. Okay. Remove visual keep slot. But this is not the one that we need because it is not enough. It is not enough. We need a full removal, right? We need removal visually from database, from everything. So this is actually doing only the memory and DB, but it's not doing. So what we have to do this. We have to do request visual keep. Yes. Yeah, we have to call this. We have to call this because this is doing the real, this is doing it for real. That is doing it for real. So we have to call request visual keep, but we have to do it with a new with a slot, with a f visual keep slot that has container ID, slot ID, and then EPS none, right? Yes. Huh? Doesn't like it. Because the request visual keep is initial loading false. Okay. Yeah. So I think that this will do the trick. I think it will. Let me just do the when you click on clear all, is also removing the window, right? Do we wait, do we don't remember. Visual keep player controller item details. Visual keep. Yeah, we have it on the. So we can just set the visibility to collapsed, right? What is called button confirm? No, it is button clear all. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now okay, we set the visibility collapsed. Okay, that's good. What else I want to do? It's a bit annoying that this window is not appearing in the middle. I mean, it's really annoying. It's really annoying that this window is not appearing in the middle. We did some reasoning yesterday and then I gave up because it was too complex and I don't understand why there is not an easy way, right? Unreal, position, window, widget, in the middle, in the center of viewport. I mean, why is not a single command, right? Why is not a single command? That is so annoying. It's a window, not a widget, but if... I mean, it's a user widget, which is a window. Yeah, because how this guy is saying, oh, put the middle in the middle, and then... but it's not the middle of the... I mean, this guy is saying something different, right? Yeah, exactly. So he's putting it there, he's putting the anchor in the center, yeah, right? He's putting the anchor in the center. But it is the widget inside a window. What I need to position the window, not a maybe I should say window. I mean, it's basically set position, right? Set position in viewport. Yeah, exactly. Set position in viewport. I mean, I find it incredible there is not a center widget. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. There is not a center widget. So ridiculous. So ridiculous. I mean, the way we do it in other cases, because we do it already, but we basically have a window that takes the whole screen and is model, and this thing is in the middle of it, right? So it's a bit of a trick. I mean, we can do the same trick in theory, right? But so like I can, but I don't even know if this is really. Let me try. Maybe we can do it that way and it's easier. If I wrap this with an overlay, right? And this overlay will be no, I mean I make the window. I'm confused now. No, because this window is not taking the whole space. Because in our pop-up windows, we do that already, right? So if I search pop-up or error, what is the name, right? It's this thing, but error pop-up. So error pop-up is done this way, but you see that is actually the window is taking the whole space. So there is an overlay, and there is this prevent clicks, which I don't know exactly what it's doing, but I guess it's preventing clicks, and it's taking the full size. But who is the image that is taking the full size or what? I'm trying to understand why in the other case screen size fill screen. Wait, screen size fill screen. Yeah, exactly. So if I do that, I can also copy the prevent clicks. I think the prevent clicks is fine actually, because it means that you will have to click. Is it annoying or is it fine? I think it is fine. So I think that this way it will always be in the middle. I think so. I think so, but now we have to do something though, because we have the set position. The set position is a bad idea now, right? So from win detail, yeah, the set position now should not be there anymore, right? Okay, let's try like this. Maybe that does it. Maybe that's the simplest way actually to do it. So you just put a fake border. Okay, let me recompile, and so we see if the movement works. If the movement works. So hard to do this game, guys. Like 2 hours per day. It's so hard. Well, it's a bit more than 2 hours per day. Actually, it's probably 3 hours per day, but still. Okay, so we recompile this and we see if when we move an item, the visual equip is removed, right? I'm pretty sure if I leave it open, there will be people running around with tables on their back. I mean, I'm sure, but... So I have a question for you. Do we want to restrict it or not? Do we want to restrict the items that you can put on the visual locations or not? One way I can do it is to do it by sides, because all the items that are big have a very big sides, and so we can say that if the item is above a certain size, you cannot equip it. That would be the easiest. Now we have to decide the sides, but or we can leave it completely open, but definitely you will see people with tables on the hip, or tables at the back, or tables on the shoulder, chairs on the back, right? So it may look a bit weird because people will do it just for fun, right? But it can be fun. I mean, in theory, if you tie a table to your back, you should be able to carry, right? It will not be very easy, but you could do it. If you have 2 very big straps on you, maybe you will not walk straight, but... Do you have an opinion? Guys, if we should restrict the items or leave it completely open? You don't. Okay, what I want to see now, I want to see that when I click on clear all, first I want to see if this thing is centered. Ah, now it's centered. If I do this, it's also centered. Yeah, so that's the best way to center the window, actually. Okay, nice. I cannot click anything else unless I click on that. Okay, which is good. So now if I click clear all, I want to see these entries going away, right? And the window closing. Yeah, perfect. Okay, that actually works, huh? Then we want to see that if we have an item in our inventory and we decide to keep it visually, for example, on the back, like that, right? And now we move the item, for example, here. Nice! It works. He removed it from the back. Fantastic. Fantastic! Okay, this is what I wanted. I'm not sure, but I think the bed may be too heavy for some characters. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the difference is basically if you want to leave it just for fun, you know, that people just doing stupid things and running around with beds through the game, or if you want to avoid it because that's ruining the immersion of the game, so that it looks fake and so it looks out of character, right? It looks out of character and so we don't want it. So that's pretty much the choice. If you want to have something that people will laugh but it will be out of character, or if you want it to keep in character. I mean, you still have a way to laugh, you know, if you... okay, let me test now if I move it. So if I do this, right? If I do this, and then I move it from one slot to another. Yeah, it's going away all the time. And I think it works well. I think it works well. Well, let me do something a bit more tricky. If I move it and then I do this, and then I put it on the right shoulder, invalid item. Okay, very, very good. Because I moved it by purpose. Let me see if I drop it to the ground, but it should be the same, huh? If I drop it to the ground, yep, it's going away. No, I think it works very well. I think we fixed it. It works very well. So whatever you... there is one more case where you swap. Where you swap. So if I put this guy on the right shoulder, and I put... Why this staff is so big? And I put this guy on the left shoulder, right? And then... I don't know why this staff is so big. I think it's insane. It's too much. So if I do this, and then I swap one item with the other item, do you think that both will go away? There it is. Only one goes away. So if you swap it, because it's actually taking the... it's doing it in another way, right? Because one is the source and another is the target, and it's swapping the target with the source. I don't know exactly where the swap happens, actually. But because I don't think we receive two move. I think we receive, yeah, exactly. We receive only one move. But then we do the swap. And I think that the swap is... I have no idea where it's done though. I mean, it can be done in inventory, or it can be done easy. Check for destination slot already occupied, right? So if the destination slot is already occupied, and you... because there is also the case where you stack it. Oh my god. If you stack it. I didn't understand where is here that is happening. So where is the move of the... What is the move of the target? This is what I don't understand, right? Because there is a source slot, but where is the target slot, right? Target slot. Proposed move will displace item X, right? Item get name. Huh? Destination slot. I see. Is a destination slot. What the fuck is this 99? What is this 99? I don't understand. We set something to 99 just to be. 99 is very risky number because why we have this 99? I don't understand. I think anyway is here. I think is here. So if we arrive here, we are moving the second item, right? I think here we are moving the second item. So in theory, so what we have to do here is to have the destination. But the problem is that we don't have the destination container. Because you can also swap. You can also swap with an item in a container. Ah yes, but it is already. Ah yes, but it is already. Yeah, this is why it's getting the parent item. Yeah, because it is in a container. Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, it's inside of this, right? It's inside of this. Now, yeah, but I should just use. It's correct. I just have to use. Wait a second, though. Because if the slot item opens here and closes here. It's a bit strange that it closes here, but then this code goes on. And it looks like it's right. But yeah, I will put it inside. I will put it inside that if, because I think it's safer. I will put it here actually. I will put it here. And here, I think we have to get the 2 container and 2 slot, right? And this will remove the swapped item, I think. So we remove both, right? Because they will swap position. I mean, now if I swap position again, obviously we remove also this one, but obviously that's the trick. Right? Yeah, we don't want that. So okay, let me recompile like this. I think like this we may catch also the case in which you are swapping items. And then again, and again, if things go bad, you can just click on clear all. If things goes very bad, you can just click on clear all and that's it. Okay. Now, if you are swapping it inside a container, in theory, it should be the same. But we can test it. We can have a container. We can swap within a container and see if that also removes the visuals. But I think this is a fun feature. I really liked it. I really like it. I'm very happy that that I did that. I think it's super nice. I think we will use it also to customize more the NPC, you know. And so the NPC can have certain items as well. I'm just thinking if I want to do the reverse, right? The reverse rotation. In theory, the reverse rotation should just be an additional flag here. So it's not very complex, right? It's just an additional flag. Here. The problem of that is that it will, I mean, if you inverse rotate the weapons on the hip, it will look pretty bad, right? And people may do it just to look stupid. And I don't know if I want to prevent that. So we can't, okay. Okay, so what I want to do, I want now to put this on my left, all right, and this on my left, right? And then, so I have the two items. And now I swap one with the other, and I want both to disappear. Okay, fantastic. That was very, very nice. So it actually works as expected. Okay, nice. That's very good. Now I want to do the same inside a container. So if I take a container, I don't have any containers because I removed them all. But if I do item chest, hopefully I get a chest. Yeah, so this is a chest. So if now I put this item here and this item there, and I do the same. So I put one on the right shoulder and one of the left shoulder, right? But now one is inside a container. And now I swap between this and this. Okay, both are removed. Now the problem is if you drop the container. That's the trick. Yeah, if you drop the container, it will not work. Fuck. No. If you drop the container, so if you equip, right? If you equip, and then you take this container and you drop it, you're cheating the system. Yeah. Because I did the check only because the items, I think the items inside the container are not really moving. The items inside the container are not really moving. I don't think they are, so we move the container item, but all the items contained stay where they are, so So unless we do an additional check, but this is very heavy though, because I will, every time you drop a container, I will have to check all the content. The content may be 64 items. And so I have to do the check for 64 items. It's kind of annoying actually. I think we leave this glitch. I don't want to... But what happens if I move the container is the same. If I move it in the inventory, it's the same. It works only when I move it this way, but let me think about it. Yes, when I move it this way, it works. But if I move the container, if I move the container, is not going to go away, which is also okay. I mean, I think it's fine because you still have it in your inventory. But if you drop the container, I mean, I can do the check. If you drop the container, you could just not allow items from container to be equipped. No, I think no, because I think this is exactly what will happen, right? So that that you will create a container and you will put the items that you want to use only for visual appearance, and then you will equip them all from here, and then you will never touch the container again. Because the problem is the inventory space, right? Is these slots, the bulk slots. So imagine that you want to go around. Imagine that you want to go around like. What happened? Imagine that you want to go around just because, I don't know, because it's just you, a bit special person. You want to go around. You want to go around, wait, left shoulder, so this, and remember that this is not an equip, right? This is not an equip, this is a visual cosmetic equip, right? Okay, so let's say that your setup is this, okay, which is very messy, but this is what it is. Your setup is this. So you have a staff on the back, this other staff on the right shoulder, this thing on the left shoulder, this on the left, and this, okay, so you have 5 items. And imagine that it is your persona. So you want to go around like this, and this is what characterizes your character, right? Now, you don't want to have 5 slots of your inventory always occupied by this shit, right? So you don't want that. But at the same time, we want to be sure that those items are actually with you, so that you are carrying those items. So I think the easiest is that you create a chest, right, which is your visual item chest. I can even rename it, and I can call it visual equip chest, you know. And in my visual equip chest will go always like bottom here, and I never touch it. So I occupy only 1 space instead of 5, right? So I think that this is the way most people will use this functionality. No, I don't think a second character doll will because it's not a real slot, right? It's not that you're putting. So you don't. These are the slots that we use normally in the game. So we use like the helm, the chest, the arms, the boots, right? But these are additional. And in theory, in the future, I may add more. For example, I may add this one, right? The upper arm, and I may add the lower leg. Right, I may add this as well. Maybe, I don't know. I think it looks already messy enough, but if you use them all, But in theory, you may want to have a dagger on your upper arm, right? In theory, you may want to have a dagger here. So, and maybe nothing else, right? Maybe nothing else, just a dagger here. I think it would be nice to have. I think it would be very nice to have. So, yeah. So I don't think a character doll, an additional setup, right? Is I mean, additional setup could be nice, but I think right clicking and doing like this is enough at the moment. We could have like a visual setup that is a completely different screen, but I will have to manage a separate inventory. You know, it's kind of a mess. So I think like this is okay. The only problem is that when you drop the chest, right? When you drop the chest, everything stays. And it is obviously wrong because you don't have those items anymore, right? Those items have been dropped together with the chest. So I think I want to fix this, right? So I think I want, whenever you are dropping to the ground a container, it must be only to the ground, right? Because if you move it in your inventory, it's okay. So we are in this case. So it is from your inventory to the ground. I think that here we need to do the check. Here I think we need to do the check. So the first check is... Why I cannot type in the proper place? Fuck. The first check, if it's a container. If it's a container, bro, I cannot. Why? Okay. To know if it's a container is very easy because there is container or something. Yes. So if this is true, it is a container. So only in the case of a container, we will have to go through. Yeah, the problem is that we have to go through all the items, right? Not just there, you could trade a container. No, trading container is not allowed. Trading containers is not allowed because when you trade, you want to see what's inside. A container may be locked, so there are a number. So if you're trying to trade a container, the game will tell you it's not possible. You will have to take the items out and then trade them separately. You can store it though, so you can put it in a storage or no. No, I don't think you can store. Can you store a container? I don't know if you can store a container. We can test that. But basically, if it's a container, we have to go through all the contained items and do something with them. Not much about the game. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You can give ideas. You can give ideas, but yeah, there are some stuff because also, for example, you cannot put a container inside another container. There is another rule that we put in the inventory system because otherwise it becomes like an infinite maze. So how do I get all the items? If it's a container, move its content as well. Yeah, you see that there is a place where we... inside the drop item. So we already have a place. We already have a place. Wait, if we already have a place... Wait, inventory, get item. If it's a container, move its content as. But this, yeah, it's a drop item. Eh? Why we do this? Add to container. Yeah, but it's here, it's here, it's here. We have to do it here. We have to do it here. We have to do it here. 100%. Now the problem is that to do it, we need to know the container ID. The container ID of the inventory. I think it's this. Yeah, it's this. Is this? Is this? No. It's not this at all. Yes. It's this. It's the same for all the items, but it's this. The same for all the items. Well, it's this actually. Yeah. Let's do it this way. It's more clear. It's more clear because OBJ is my container, right? And now the problem is the slot, because the slot is slot. Yeah. The slot is slot. I think actually maybe this, you know. No, I would say if the contained item is visually equipped, example right shoulder, remove it. Yeah, I think this will do. I'm not completely sure about the slot, if the slot is the receiving slot or the current slot or whatever, but we will see. So this I think is okay, but then we have to remove the thing that I was trying to do here. So this is not okay. Let me try now. Was the container on the ground? Yeah. The container was on the ground, we lost it. Was the container on the ground? Or did I pick it up? Because I'm not loading ground items because we are using production. I mean copy of production. No, but you're more than welcome to give any suggestion, ask any questions. I mean, I'm streaming also to, you know, interact with you guys, so it's fine. Okay, let's recompile like this and see. So basically, there is a cosmetic equip, okay? So the fact that you move the sword to your back doesn't make any difference in terms of rules or in terms of game, right? It's just a visual look. It's like if you decide to, I don't know, put your hat, your cap, you know, looking backward instead of looking forward. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just a cosmetic thing. Let's see if the chest. Now, if the chest was on the ground, we will not load it now because we are not loading items on the ground to load quickly. And so we may have a problem, but well, I can just remove all and clear all. Do you think that this window, the window where I have the current and new, is confusing or not? Because I'm thinking to remove the current. Because it's telling you what is the current slot, and then it's asking you what is the new slot, right? But in reality, in the new slot is already loading the current. So you see it. I will show you. Ah, the container was in our inventory. Ah, but we didn't load it in though. Why? Because the container ID changes when you, because when I picked it up in another slot. Because the container ID, yeah. The problem is, we have a problem here. The problem is that the container ID is the slot where the container is, 37. Is not the ID of the container. Oh, fuck. So that will never work, huh? We have kind of a big problem. We have a kind of a big problem because if you do this, right? If you do this and you say, I want it on the back. This is what I'm asking if it's confusing, right? Current and new. Current and new. Current and new. Do you think it's confusing, current and new? Because in reality, I mean, do you think current is needed? Because actually, here, if this thing is on the right shoulder, for example, right? When you open it, you see right shoulder here. So this is duplicate. The only usefulness of this one is if you change it and you don't remember where it was. And you say, where it was? It was right shoulder, and I want to move it left shoulder. That is the only case, right? But I think I may get rid of this. Okay, so the problem is the following, that the problem is the following. But it seems to work though. How it is possible? So if I move the chest, so at the moment, this item that I have on the back in the database is stored as slot 35, slot 2. So what this means is that this container is in the slot 35 of my inventory, and this item is in slot number 2, so 0, 1, 2 of this container. But if I move the container, right? If I move the container and then I look at the container again and then I ask if this thing is a kept or not, it would say no. It will say no. Fuck. You think the drop-down should just show the current selected slot? Yeah, I think so as well. I think I'm going to probably to remove this. I think I'm going to remove it. I think it's redundant. So we have the same we have the problem when we drop the container, and we have the problem I mean, I could pass the container ID, I mean the real container ID, right? Because this container has an ID. This container has, I mean, now I think if I drop it, but yeah, exactly. But now if I drop it, and this guy is not in the right slot, if I put it here, and I drop it, is possible that the back goes away or no? No, it doesn't go away either. Because I think that he's searching the container ID and not the slot where the container was. Ay, 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 ay. Well, we can put the container ID on this column, the real container ID. This is the container slot ID. But then I have to change a lot of stuff. I have to change a lot of stuff. Let me think about it. So if I change that, let's say that I put here the actual ID of the container. I put the actual ID of the container. Okay, then when I search, yeah, but the problem is that when I open the item doesn't know. The item doesn't know the ID of the container. It doesn't know. It doesn't know. That is a bit tricky. I mean, we can also just ignore the problem, right? We can. I mean, he has no game impact. We can ignore the problem if we want. So, basically, what will happen is that if yeah, but the problem is that if you move the container and then you reload into the game, your items will not be visually equipped. You will have to re-equip them all. That's kind of annoying. Unless I put the real container ID. But then if I put the container ID... first of all, I don't know if in this window I have the container ID. I think actually I only have the slot where the container ID is. So I could still pass to this function. I could still pass, let me think about it, but I think it's a bit of a change compared to what we have now. Because when I request a visual thingy, right? When I arrive here, my slot data is having the ID, is having the container ID. Which is in reality the container slot ID. And can I search it? Yes, I could search the actual container, get its ID, and then in the database write the container ID. But then when I move it in the inventory like this, when I move it like this, no one is changing. Yeah, I can also do the opposite, I can also do the opposite. So I can... I can change... When I move it, I can change the slot ID. When I move it, I can change the slot ID. I think I'm going to ignore the problem. I mean, it is a bit annoying. It is a bit annoying. So players will for sure will file a bug report, because they will say if I drop my chest or if I move the chest, the items are staying on, but then when I reload into the game, they are gone, right? And I will tell them, well, just don't move the chest. Or if you move it, re-equip, right? Because fixing it is not easy. Fixing it is not easy. It's possible, but it's not easy because there are multiple cases, right? Actually moving the item inside a chest works. Well, no it doesn't because I moved it. Actually moving the item inside a chest works properly. But what doesn't work is dropping the chest to the ground or moving the chest in your inventory. I don't think people are moving containers in their inventory too much. I think pretty much everyone has all the containers on the bottom right, and they maximum have like 2-3 containers. And everyone keeps them there forever, right? And then they use the rest of the inventory for their management, right? I think that pretty much everyone does this. So in reality, this bug will happen very rarely, right? Maybe only to new players that are just messing around with the inventory, but yeah, I think I'm going to ignore this problem for now. I think I'm going to ignore it. So if you have a problem, right? If you have a problem, what you will do, you will just open your thing, just click on this icon, do clear all, that is basically removing everything, and then you re-equip every single piece, right? And then you never move that container again. And I think you are perfectly good, right? Can we make this staff a bit smaller? I think the staff is insane. I don't know how big the other staffs are, but it looks to me like this staff is beyond any reason. What if you drop the stuff from the container? Yeah, in this case it removes it. Now it works well in the majority of the cases. Let me just check 1 second the other stuff that we have, because it seems that this is super big, like insanely big. I can scale it. Let me find, yeah, for example this one. Let me find this one that looks visually big, but I cannot have 2 staffs because they are taking double slots. Really? Is this two-handed? Yeah, you see, it is already a big one, but it's not as insane as this one. I think I will reduce. Yeah, I think I will reduce it. This one, I think this one is beyond reason. I mean, it's like 2 meters, and it's super large. I think we have to reduce it by probably 15% or so. Let me try 0.9. We can change the scale here. Incredible, huh? Do you think it will work? I don't know. Yeah, it does. I think that 10% is still a lot. I think we should probably do a 20% reduction on this item. No, I mean 20%, maybe 20 is a lot. I think 20 is good. Yeah, this item should be reduced 20%. 20%. Okay, so let's do the 2 changes. Let's make this item small. I don't know if I want to re-import it smaller or if I want to scale it in Unreal. I think probably I want to re-import this smaller because scaling in Unreal may then mess up with other scale that we have. It's always better if you import in Unreal stuff at scale 1. Yeah. Okay, let's do the 2 changes. We remove the... we remove the current location, which I think is useless. So the current location. So how do we do it? We remove this completely, right? And then do we need new? No, we don't need new. I think we just do this, no? So this thing becomes smaller. Wait. If I change that, I need to change. Okay, like this it should work. Now we will not compile because it will say that, yeah, there are some problems. So we remove this. No. Okay, so we do that change and then we want to re-import the staff with 20% less, huh? With 20% less. Staff brown, staff 1 PSI time. This has been imported 1,000,000 years ago. It still looks nice though. I mean, it's very simple, but so I need to find it. It should be under UART, weapons, staff and wands, staff brown. We have actually staff brown 1, 2, and 3. We have staff brown. This is staff brown 0, 1A. So it should be staff brown 1A. Okay. Yes, it's this one. So we just scale it 0.8. And yep. We save it like that. We export it as staff brown 01 and we re-import it from the same directory, which is this. Okay. I think that is more normal now. It was absolutely huge. I don't know why. Okay, so we did that change. So I think the system works, guys. So do we want to restrict the items that you can carry? I think yes. Because for example, I will show you something funny that I posted today in our internal channel. Yeah, if you want to see, I know it's a bit, I mean, I know it's a lot, but if you want to read all our internal channel, we have an internal developers channel in Discord, and it's actually accessible to the Patreons with the highest tier, which is quite high, I have to say, because it's $50, but But basically, if you do that, you will be able to see all the internal discussions, which I have to say they are not much, right? But there are some, like I'm posting sometimes screenshot, or we discuss about how things should be, or we discuss about future stuff that we want to do, right? So if you become a Patreon at the highest tier, you can read that channel. Okay, so for example, right, if I take a wall, I think we have a wall somewhere. We have a wall. Where do we have a wall? We have a wall under we have a wall under structures. Yes. So I take this stone wall. You see this stone wall? I see this. I spawn it, and then I put it on my back. Boom. There it is. I have a wall. I have a wall on my back. So maybe it is a bit too much, right? Maybe it is a bit too much. So I mean, you may argue that in theory you should not be able to even carry this. That's giving me an event idea. I can exclude the I mean, you can crouch and you may pretend that you are a wall, but I mean, you could do this. I can exclude the restriction for game masters, so the game masters can actually keep whatever they want. But I think that works already if you put it in your hand, no? I know, probably it's saying that you cannot put it in your hand. Let me see. If I try to put a wall in my hand, no, he's saying it's not possible. It says not possible. Yeah, you can do, in theory you can do the same with anything, with the barricades as well, right? With any, like I can take these barricades and put it on my head, right? I can put this. On my back. Well, this seems more doable. Still fairly heavy. Do you ever use the pose or not? There is the pose command, right? Like I have my hands tied behind my back. Do you use this, Wadjet? Do you remember that it's there or no? Do you use this? The pose / pose. You use this now? Okay. Nice. Because I think it's kind of cool. Maybe you should be able to force another player into a pose like this, but you can also ask them to right shoulder is already in use. Yes, because it's in use by the bucket. Left shoulder. Oh wow, that sounds kind of painful. I'm feeling like Jesus Christ now, with a cross. Jesus with a cross. But yeah, in theory you can do it with any item, right? And I don't know, should I leave it open? Because in theory, the injured one, yes. In theory, players cannot have these items, right? In theory, players cannot have these items. So, but for example, they can have chairs. So they can have a chair and they can say, oh, I want to put a chair on my hip, right? And then maybe a bit weird. Should we leave it open or not? I can leave it open. I can leave it open, but at the same time, I don't want to say... How do you go back to... like this, probably. I mean, I don't want to have stuff that looks completely off, right, in the game. I think people can buy furniture for their guild house. So in theory, they can buy shelves, right? Or they can buy this, right? Probably. I mean, some of this, not everything is available, but or they can buy the potted plant, right? So they can. So yeah, the potted plant is not very big. I mean, I can exclude maybe all the furniture so that you cannot really. So you cannot really. You cannot really put the furniture on your... I mean... By the way, why this potted plant is so giant? Is the potted plant so giant usually? Probably yes. I was thinking it was smaller. No? I mean... I don't know, I can... I mean, it's kind of funny, no? What if you are on a mount? Good question. Good question. I didn't try. If you are on a mount, I think nothing will work. If you are on a mount, no, I think it will work, but we have to test this. Yes, we have to try. We have to try with a mount. This one is very nice, actually. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. So this one probably I want to leave. Yeah, if you put it like this, it looks stupid. If you put it on the side, it also will look very stupid. It looks good only... Yeah, it looks good only on the back. And I think it's the same with the table, right? We can test the... It's a good point, Hula. We can test the... we can test the thingy. Large carved table. We can test the mount. Holy. Well, this is technically possible. This is technically possible. Now, it may be very hard for agility, right? It may be very hard for balance, but it's technically possible. It is technically possible. Now, doing this would be very, very hard. Doing this is very, 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 very complex. But you can still try. Okay, let me try the mount. I think it's a good point. Let me try the mount and we see. So to try the mount, I need a character with a mount. And then in theory, I have to adjust all the positions for all the characters. But yeah, I think it will look kind of okay for the most already as it is now. I think the only ones that will look off will be the dwarves and the cran, because at the moment I tested it on the human, right, on the mid-size character. So I think this guy should have a mount, but I didn't tweak the sides for. Yeah, you see that for this character they are going inside the body, but this is just changing this information, right? So we just have to change this for the cran, which is this. And then it will work, right? So we just have to find the new coordinates, simulating it here. So it's not too complex because I can just change this to cran torso, and then change to cran collection. Okay, so now it's full cran, right? You see that it's way bigger, and then we can attach the weapons to the shoulder and such, and then we can see the position. So for example, I attach the longsword, right? And then I use so what is this? This is right hip. So and then I use this right hip paste, right hip paste. Okay, so this is how it is now. And then I have just to move this in the right location, whatever we think is the right location. Maybe easier, I don't know, maybe easier, right? I have to, yeah, like that. I think like that is good. So we move it there, and then I just have to copy this again, and I paste it here. Yes, I paste it here. Boom. And this will do, right? I just save and reload this file, and this and we will have it correct, right? So we have to do it for all the locations, for all the characters, which is a bit annoying, but then when it's done once. But I think that the only ones broken will be the cran and the dwarf at the moment. Okay, so let's see if I have a mount. Oh fuck, I don't have a mount. Why don't I have a mount? I don't have a mount. Okay, let's do it with the other. Let's do it with the other database then. Let's do it with the other database. Okay, I started this way. I hope that when you are on a mount, everything works, but it's also true that everything is going through the character, and the character may be the mount, right? So yeah, if it doesn't work, but again, if it doesn't work, we can ignore it. I mean, we can. I think if you have the items and you mount, it will work. But if you are trying to add the items while you are mounted, I think that's the problem. If you try to add the items while you are mounted, it will not work. It will do something stupid. And but let's see. Okay, this one. Okay, so if I put, let's just put something at the back, easy, right? So because anyway we'll work for all the, okay, so I have this at the back, right? I have this at the back and I mount. Oh, by the way, we got the bug. We got the bug. Uh-oh. We got the bug of the camera. There is another bug that we need to fix. Basically sometimes, I don't know when, how, or why, when you are mounting, the camera goes to the character selection. I don't understand what is going on. But yeah, you see that my weapon is there, right? And if I dismount, my weapon is, my thing is, can you follow? Can you follow? I don't understand why this works. Oh. Anyway, there is another bug we need to fix. But anyway, I have my sword, right? So now let's try to put a shield. Now let's try to put this falcon on the right shoulder and see what happens. It's saying invalid item. It's saying, yeah. It's saying invalid item because it's checking the inventory of the mount. It's checking the inventory of the mount. Is not finding the item. Is not finding the item, and then is complaining. Which is good though, because it means that it doesn't mess up anything, right? I mean, I can give a better message, but because having it work is not very simple actually. But I think, yeah, but I think it works. It works. I mean, you cannot equip while you are in that position, but you can you put a shield on the, no, I said that the shield goes only on the back, eh? So it doesn't allow you to, shield can only be placed on the back, yeah, so it doesn't allow you to, so I will have to move this to the left, and I will have to put the shield, hey, you need food, but I don't have any food. Yeah, but it works. It works fine. Now, one day we will redo the mounts. Unfortunately, our mounts are not very good, I know. The movement is wrong. So like the mount is going up and down, but my character is not really, I mean, it's going up and down, but in the wrong way. I don't know, it's a bit, I mean, it's kind of wrong, I know. Plus, at the moment I see this freaking... Why there is this freaking... Uh-oh. I think he was colliding with my items. Is colliding with my items? Yes, it is. Is colliding with my items. This is very strange. But we need to fix this. No? I think it is. I think it is when I'm mounted. In theory, all the items are are zero collision, right? All the items are zero collision. the items are zero collision. When we keep them in visually, they are zero collision, but also when we don't. So in general, they are zero collision. So I don't understand why. The collision is not replicated. Oh fuck. If the collision is not replicated, they will collide. The collision is not replicated. Jesus. That's so annoying. No, the collision is not replicated, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. The static mesh is replicated, but the texture is not, and the collision is not. So we have to replicate the collision manually here. Oh my god, Jesus. Jesus! That is ridiculous, though. That is ridiculous. Boys, yeah, it's at the moment, those items are colliding. Are not colliding server side, but they are colliding client side. It's because the replication is not doing what it should do. Well, I don't know, they designed it this way. Let me see if it's true. Well, if I'm invisible, obviously not, but set me invisible off. So we probably see the other guy, you know, with all his equipment. So the multiplayer aspect of this is already working, right? Because it's all done with rep notifies. But I think if I walk slowly, yeah, you see, I'm colliding. Oh my god. And I'm colliding only client side, because server side, I'm not colliding. Because server side, I explicitly remove the collision. In fact, you see that if I do this, it's happening less, because it's only my client, right, that is pushing the other guy. And I think that, let me see if he sees that. Yeah, he sees that briefly. He sees that briefly. Ah, that is super annoying. Okay. So to solve that, that is super annoying. That is super annoying. The way we did it, right? The way we did it for everything else, including the helm, the bracers, you see, I have a non-rep notify on every single item. I have a non-rep notify on every single item. Yeah, but this is really stupid. I mean, in theory, I mean, it is colliding because it's taking the default, right? It's taking the default for that object. It's taking the default of that object. It's taking the default. I think we have to I think we have to investigate a bit. I think we have to investigate a bit. Because when we create we create it here, right? And here we set the collision to disabled. I don't understand why this create mesh doesn't have a collision in. That is so stupid. That is so freaking stupid. Is it possible that in all these years they didn't fix this? They didn't fix it. Why? Why there is not a flag to actually replicate collision? Why? 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 Ah, shit. Yeah, because I faced this problem already in the past, and I solved it by creating a rep notify for each of the items, right? For each of the locations. I mean, I can still do it, but it seems so stupid, right? It seems so stupid that I cannot force, right? I cannot force an item to have the replication, to have the collision replicated. Why? Why I cannot do this? It's so stupid. Also, I don't understand why they did it this way, right? So what is the benefit of having replication not of having collision not replicated by default, right? Why? I mean, why you should do that? Why you should do that? And I cannot even have a begin play, because you can say, oh, whenever your item reaches the client, right, do a begin play and disable collision. But I cannot even do it, because in this case it's not even an actor, right? So that is just a mesh that we create, right? It's a static mesh component, right? It's a static mesh component we create on the fly, and we attach to a socket, right? So it's not an actor. Now I could create my own actor, but I don't understand why I need an actor if I can only have a static mesh component, right? Which is much simpler. Much simpler. The problem I have is that if I do it with a separate function and not by holding the item, I fear that my function may arrive before the item is replicated, and so I will not set the collision to off. And also, I don't understand why no one is speaking about it, right? Very few people are speaking about it. Very few people are speaking about it. And if few people are speaking about it, it basically means that it's not a problem for them, and so maybe they're using a different technique, right? Let me ask ChatGPT if he has any good idea, man. Um, yeah, I'm just putting the code in a way that he can read it. The problem is that the collision is only set server side and is not replicated. Okay, why the hell, why they did it this way? What is the benefit, of having collision not replicated by default? Well, it's not collision, it's collision settings, right? Why? Why? ChatGPT, you that are a smart person, tell me why they did it this way. Why? Collision settings are not automatically replicated. They are purely local to the instance of the actor that owns them. Reason: collision handling in a real is highly performance sensitive and client specific. For example, collision is mostly relevant for physics simulations, which is authoritative on the server. Client don't always need the exact collision state that the server has. Often the client does not do full physics simulation, he only uses the collision tracing of a local prediction. I understand what you mean. So he's saying, if I'm doing a very complex physics simulation on the server and on the client I'm just approximating the positions, then I don't want to, yeah, okay, but at least no collision, yes collision, you know? So this in theory is the reason why. Okay, at least he gave us a reason. At least he gave us a reason, so I'm less mad now. Perhaps not a good thing. My pet idea. What pet idea? Network bandwidth optimization. Collision can change very frequently. Replicating collision every change will spam the network. I don't think so. It's bullshit. The only good one probably is this. Yeah, how to handle it. If you do one client-side collision to match the server, manually replicate the desired collision state as a boolean enumeration or variable in the actor. It's not an actor, it's a static mesh, you stupid monster. Yeah, I know. My problem is that if I create the mesh, right? My problem is this. If I create the mesh and then I send the RPC to the client with a new variable, right? Will the mesh be created before the RPC arrives? I don't know, because that's the problem, right? So if I do it all inside an actor, maybe yes, but what do you mean the new component will not automatically appear? It does appear. Nah, that's false. This is false because I created post and actually it works. It is false that the component is not replicated. If you set it as where is it? If you use set replicated, right, true, it does work. I mean, I tested it. I mean, it works for us, so it works for us. I see it. Exactly. So the question remains the same. If I use set replicate, right? If I use set replicate when I create my component, and then I use an RPC to set the, I mean a rep notify, right? A rep notify to enable the collision. Do I have 100% certainty that the certainty, ouch, certainty, well, you will understand, that the RPC, that the rep notify will arrive after the component, we arrive on the client after the component is replicated on the client. Because that's the problem, right? Because if you're sending RPC messages is one thing, but if you're replicating, if you're creating a new object, I don't know. A real replication system guarantees that replicated components are fully created and attached to client before any property replication or rep notification are delivered. Yeah, but the problem is that the property is not the property of the object. Okay. Probably what he's saying is that it's attached. Well, I attach it to the socket. So you're saying that if I register the component and I do the first is doing the registering and then is, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm not 100% convinced, but anyway, if it was a property of the same object, yes. But here we have a static mesh which is attached to a socket and the property is on the actor. Exactly, if the variable is replicated from a different actor. No, it's not a different actor. So the mesh, the component is a static mesh. The component is a static mesh attached to a socket of my character actor. The rep notify is on my character actor. So exactly. Okay, he's saying that we are fine. I don't know if I want to believe him, but he's saying that we are fine. So if we have the on-ramp on the axe, you know what is the annoying thing? The annoying thing is that we are already replicating. This is maybe how we can solve it though. Wait a second. We are already replicating the... that is very nice. We have a solution, boys. We have a solution. Because we are already replicating... the shit. The thing. The visual slot, right? We are, no? Please tell me that we are. We are replicating, no? I think we are. Visual equip. Wait. Can I type, please? Visual equip. Visual equip slots, right? This one is replicated, but it's not replicated with a on-ramp, but we can do it with on-ramp, right? We can do it with on-ramp. If you do it with on-ramp, then we can actually on the client. Okay. I think we can do it this way, and it's gonna save us a lot of time. Now we will have to reset the collision of all the objects connected to all the sockets all the time, because we don't know which one has been replicated now. Yeah, that's the problem. Loudly doesn't mean anything. The mount 5 minutes ago, you loud loudling, now you love blum blum. I said loudly, yes, it means with strong voice. Yeah, this is like the collision, but we need to fix this anyway, because we cannot have the collision. The problem is not with the mount, the problem is also with the normal character, you see? So if I go through this character, it's not a mount. Do you see that this character is moving? It's moving because my weapons are colliding. And they should not. So how do we solve this? I have to go, unfortunately. I really have to go. But okay, so one way to solve it would be to wrap notify this, right? To wrap notify this, and whenever it changes, we will scan on the client all the items attached to the 5 sockets. Well, not to the 5 sockets, to all the sockets where we have at least one slot. Yeah, I think it's the best way, guys. I think it's the best way. Okay, let me do it this way. So this will be on-wrap visual equip slots, okay? On-wrap visual equip slots. So if I do this, I need to create... Can you create it? No, you cannot create it, huh? Okay, anyway. Okay, so this will be replicated to the client. On the server, we don't need it. But on the client... Let me close all of this. I think it's not too hard. If we do it that way, it's not too hard. If we do it that way, it's not too hard, actually. It's not too hard, because the only thing we have to do, right? The only thing we have to do is for each visual equip slot, disable the collision, right? And so we have to basically, for each our visual as well as visual equip slots, right? That we have, because we have them in the right. The difference of this is that we need to understand which ones have a slot that is different than none. EPS visual slot none, right? So for every one that is different from that, we have to do we have to get the socket whatever. I don't remember how we did it, but it was a function that was called get meshing socket get mesh attached, exactly. This thing, right? So we have to find the mesh attached to the slot, where the slot, oh shit, the slot is the freaking name of the slot. Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. The name of the slot. The name of the slot, bro. And no, because no, we need to get the name. Oh my god. Enum string something. I never find that one. There is a thing to get the enumeration. Wait. This. No. And now we need to do set collision enabled. Yeah, now we have to do what we were doing on the other side. I think we should just do it exactly like it was, right? Just to avoid doing any mistakes. So what? It's not on my search. Why? Why is not on my search? Why? Anyway, is here. Is attach relative set collision enable. We have to do this, right? Okay, so this will basically disable the collision on the client for every item that is okay. You know what? In theory, it should work already. In theory. But then I really need to go, huh? Good night, Ulla. Have a good night. It's very late. Oh my god, it's very late. But I think we can fix. I think this will fix. I don't know but it should work, right? Because this is populated every time. that slot is changed. And here we are going through all the items and we are disabling the collision. So it should want, unless I did something stupid here, it should work. And if what ChatGPT said is true, that the properties are replicated always after the components getting attached to the character, which I really hope is the case. And it would make sense, right? It would really make sense. Well, if we do it this way, it's very clean. If we have to do one variable per slot, it's super annoying. We could do it, but it's very annoying, so I would like to avoid that. I'm waiting that it compiles and then I have to go, really. Really, 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 really. Really, 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 really. Okay, let's try. I don't have an easy way to see it except for having another client connected, right? Because it's only when you are colliding with something else that you see. Well, I can do show collision. Yeah, I can do show collision. Yeah, actually. Yeah. I could have done show collision and it would have been easy to see that those were colliding, actually. Strange that I didn't do it. Because the collision for sure is enabled client side. That is a bit strange. By the way, guys, if you want to click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that will help us, so please do it. And also, if you want to download our game is available to be downloaded for Windows, Linux, and Mac. You can go to our website and you can download it right now. Let me see if show collision. Let me see what show collision is saying. Why? 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 Yeah, they are colliding. But it's strange though, because for sure that thing is replicated. Ah, shit. I thought I solved it, but maybe I didn't. How it is possible though? I don't understand. Because for sure on the client we have that thing, right? We have that variable replicated and that variable is set. So that is very, 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 very strange. I can put a printout and we will see, but that is very, 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 very strange and is a pity because it means it doesn't work basically. It basically means it doesn't work. Yep. It's colliding also on the other client. It is ridiculous though. I mean, I don't understand it. You see, it's colliding. So we don't go through this or what? What the hell? We don't go through that? I don't know if we don't go through this or but it's impossible. Or maybe we don't find... maybe we don't find the attached component yet. That is very, 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 very strange. Or I did something stupid here. I don't know. Now I want to know, but it's getting super late, so... I want to know why it's not working, but... Maybe we don't find that. We don't find the mesh. I don't know. That's very strange. Let me do this last test and then we see. Did I recompile? Yeah, I recompiled, right? Yeah, for sure I recompiled. I mean, this should trigger automatically, so there should be nothing needed, right, for me to do. I mean, except that this should always be, I mean, obviously this should be on the replicated life, whatever, yeah, but it is. Ah, owner only. Yeah, but owner only is me, at least on me, it should do it, right? Yeah, we have to change this condition. We have to change this condition because we need to replicate it also on the other clients. But apart from that, yeah, at the moment on the second client is not going because I have this owner only. But on my client, right, it must. Right? My client, he must do it. And we can change that line, fine. Unless it is created already with that value and so it's not replicating it. Well, I can try to swap a weapon and see what happens, but I tried to add it and actually, yeah, I did it and it was not working because I added one slot at the back of one of the other characters, right? And it was not working. This still requires a bit of work. It's a pity because I thought I finished, right? I thought I finished and so I said, oh, from tomorrow we can do something else, but it looks like, unfortunately, it's not finished. Okay, let me see if we got that message. In theory, we should have got this message on the client, right? What? Didn't... What? Hello? Why doesn't... Oh? Ah, because it's not this one. Because it's not this one, yeah. It's not that one. There is another client somewhere. Here. Ah, there. Okay. Yes. Actually... only back? Why only back? And anyway... No, only back... no, back is the shield, and the shield is full collision. Shield is full collision. Shield is full collision. So we got this, but is this updated or is it of 20 hours ago? No, it is of now. I don't understand why... Ah, because he didn't find the mesh, you see? Yeah, he didn't find the mesh. So yeah, it's going through that actually. It's arriving here, but it's not printing this. It's not printing this. So it's not finding the mesh. How it is possible? It's not finding the mesh attached to the socket. I don't believe it. Because you know what? I think that my fear of the fact that this was actually replicated after the component is a legitimate fear. And by the way, it should not be return, it should be break. But okay, guys, there is more work I need to do to fix this. I think, I mean, this could be a solution, but it seems it's not working for whatever reason. My fear is that this is getting replicated before the actual character is fully on. And this means that this is not finding, well, actually it's finding the slot though. It's finding the slot. So it's like if this keep slot is replicated before the addition of the, let me just check one more thing. It looks like this addition of the slot happens before, yeah, actually it happens before, I mean, that's true. It happens before the actual addition of the request visual keep. Before the attachment of the mesh. But it's anyway in the same cycle, eh? I mean, it's in the same. I mean, this is it's not an asynchronous call, right? It's not an asynchronous call. It's exactly the same. Okay. Anyway, I have to go. Good night, guys. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow evening, 9:30 p.m. European time. Bye.